Okay.
Yeah, just get all the I don't know, uhs and ums. What I am doing right now, get that out of you.
Yeah, great. Oh, goody.
Oh,
Let's see.
wait.
Let's see if I can not slaughter this introduction.
You can totally do it. I believe in you.
I can totally slaughter it.
You could totally not slaughter it. I believe that you can totally not slaughter it.
That's not something.
We could do the opening like 3 or 4 times if you wanted. Also,
We could. I mean,
Yeah,
are we live right now? Like, I could keep practicing the opening until we're good to go.
yes, absolutely. And I could put all of your we could have a blooper reel at the end of the iTunes podcast and just put that in as its own thing.
Throw that up there.
Since I'm sitting here in my comfy pajama bottoms. I'm actually kind of looking forward to just sitting here listening to you talk about Forever Evil and me just be in here.
No, you
It's
have
gonna be
to
great.
talk too. Like,
What?
that's how this works. This isn't story time with Amanda.
We should have that be a show too. Story time with Amanda. Tonight she reads Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you'll go.
I don't think I know that one by heart. Have to do like
No?
green eggs and ham or something. One fish, two fish. One fish, blue fish.
One fish, two fish. It's classic right there. What about Yertle the Turtle?
I don't think I ever read that one.
You never read Yertle the Turtle?
No.
Oh my goodness, Amanda. Come on.
Clearly, I was too busy reading Forever Evil.
Yertle the Turtle was like king of the turtle pond and all that he could see. And he got greedy and wanted to see more, so he stacked all the turtles on top of each other so he could see more.
That's really what happened?
Yeah.
What happened to the turtles?
I don't remember. What happened to the turtles, Lee?
If anyone's watching,
I think
this,
it all fell down eventually.
of course they did, because they're turtles and they're not meant to be stacked. Let's see how many times I can punch my mic tonight. All right.
Important Here's a Who. That's a really good one.
Oh yeah, that's true. I used to read what was it? Spot? Was it Spot the dog? Yeah, like See Spot, Run, Spot.
I don't think that's Dr. Seuss.
No, it's not, but
Okay.
it was Spot.
See Spot Run.
See Spot, Run.
Spot the dog.
Little yellow dog. All right.
I read completely different books, like Benjamin Blümchen. Fuck you guys, both of you. You guys suck.
It's alright.
No.
I didn't watch Disney movies until I was older. I grew up watching Dances with Wolves on VHS.
Oh, that's a good one. I
like
did see that one on VHS. But no, I grew up with those Disney movies. Like, Leah and I talk about them all the time. Like Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century. That was a good one. Zoom, 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 make my heart go boom, boom, boom. What was his name? What was the singer's name? Protozoa. That's right. I'm sorry. Sorry. Protozoa. This is definitely all going at the end of the show as a blooper section.
I apologize to
For
anyone
sure.
watching the show. We're like
Yeah.
right now.
Right now we are trying to be better for you by, just kind of shaking off all the nerves.
I don't host, so try
Let
not to
Amanda
slaughter
host.
the introduction. All right.
Oh,
I think
you
I
can
got
do it.
this though, so let's do it.
Are you ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Let's go for it.
All right. Sitting atop the watchtower in Gotham City, the Nerdy Knights are here to bring you some great comic book content, and I'm one of your horse.
You're one. Amanda is one of our horses.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not ready.
Maybe.
Combining words already. Here we go.
Just so you know, there's someone watching already. It's Chicken Lover 234.
This is great. I'm sorry. Do we even know who
I
that
have
person
no idea.
is? Okay. Can I like not start from the beginning and just keep going?
Oh no, you gotta do the whole thing. We
I have
gotta
to
have a good,
force it.
clean run. I don't want to do that much editing, Amanda. Come on.
All right. I'm gonna try with less pep, but in my
Okay.
I am really peppy, guys. Just as
Sitting atop the watchtower in
Sitting
Gotham City.
with Robo voice. All right. Sitting atop the watchtower in Gotham City, the Nerdy Knights are here to bring you some great comic book content, and I'm one of your hosts. And some say I'm an oracle, but everyone can say they've never seen me and Batgirl in the same room together. My name's Amanda Kane, and he comes in like a flash of lightning with his quick wit and dashing good looks, Ben Riddick.
I'm just so glad that you said it that way. I was worried that you'd change it right there, but I'm glad you kept it.
Oh, you're
Because
dashing
these
good
are
looks?
dashing good looks. Yeah.
Are you gonna say hi, or are you just gonna be like, yeah?
Hi, everybody. I am Ben.
And we wanted to welcome you to the first issue of Nightly Novels. And think of this as your comic book club, because each week we are going to choose a random comic book story arc to read and then discuss on the show. Which means that there will be spoilers, so spoiler warning
Spoiler alert.
for every book in any question. Alrighty.
So what's our first book, Amanda?
Oh yeah.
What did we read?
So we started with well, this sucks. The light is too bright. It's Forever Evil.
Oh, you have the actual physical copy.
Yeah,
I went digital.
we went digital. I don't
Yeah.
see that. To me, this feels better. I don't know. I don't really read digital content for that. I should, but I
gotcha.
mean, I also work at a comic book store, so it's just easy for me to be like, hey,
I mean,
this today.
when you work at a comic book store, why would you ever do digital?
Yeah, I
That I
can't.
understand.
Unless
I
there's
just have a feeling if I went physical, Lee would absolutely try to murder me. Because there would be so many comic books. So many. They'd be like stacked up everywhere. It would not be fun. It would not be a pretty sight.
the murder or the. I mean, I think I'd be pretty happy with
None
the
of it. None of it
comic
would be particularly attractive.
All right, so yeah.
Go for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about this comic book.
All right, so let's
I'm
talk
ready.
about it. I personally, I just cracked my jaw. Ow.
Nice.
So I personally have never read Forever Evil. And a little bit of background before we actually get into discussing the comic. Ben and I put together a list of comics that we thought, and arcs that we thought that everyone should read, or we have not read yet. At least me personally, I put some on there that I have yet to read.
So did I. I had never read Forever Evil either. I read the story arc before Forever Evil,
Which one?
where the Justice League disappears. I forget what it's called. It's like Pandora's something. But at the very end of it, the crime syndicate comes in and the entire Justice League disappears. And that is the end of... I want to say it's like Pandora's Box and then the beginning of Forever Evil. I have to double check that though. I will look at that right now as you continue talking. Our list is like 100 books strong now.
Yeah, and we had a lot of stuff. I noticed, like, we're not going to tell any of you guys what else is on the list, but we
It's
had...
a long list.
Yeah, it is a pretty long list. I noticed we had a lot of stuff that we kind of agreed on together.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of it is just superhero related, so you guys will be able to, if you're reading along with us, which we hope you are, it's not all going to be superhero oriented. I know I personally picked some stuff that isn't superhero, and it's kind of more like real life.
Yeah.
Not dramas.
I picked a couple like that. I mean, we both picked. Well, I guess I won't give it away. But I think we have got a really good mix of superhero, villain, real people, kind of things. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm stoked to read all of this. There's a lot on the list that I haven't read before. That's one of the reasons I am so excited.
I think you picked some Superman stuff that I have not read because I've never really been a fan of Superman, so.
Oh, Trinity War. That was the arc before Forever Evil.
Where did you
Trinity
get
War.
Pandora from?
Because Pandora is one of the characters,
Okay.
and she's a pretty big character in it. So that's where I got Pandora from, Amanda.
All right. Do you want to do a book summary? Because I will probably suck at summarizing a book. So
Yeah, no, I can do a book summary.
I'll just model the book the entire
There
time.
you go. There is the book. Essentially, the premise of the book is the three Justice League teams: Justice League of America, and Justice League Dark, all died because the crime syndicate, which are the Justice League essentially from Earth 3, come to take over Earth 0. And what has to happen in order for... I mean, the crime syndicate essentially kills off the entire Justice League, and all that's left are the villains. And Lex Luthor, knowing that having a Superman as opposed to whatever Ultraman is a lot better than a world ruled by the crime syndicate. So he goes off to form pretty much the Injustice League. He grabs villains from all the different Justice Leaguers. Like, there's Captain Cold. Scarecrow was in it for like a brief moment, and then, went back to being on the crime syndicate side. And Chitara. I always forget Wonder Woman's nemesis's name. What do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it's Chitara.
Chitara.
Yeah.
And Black Manta. Oh no, it's just Cheetah.
Is it just Cheetah?
It is just Cheetah.
We want to make it sound so much cooler than it actually is. But...
I know, right? It's just Cheetah.
just Cheetah.
And then Black Manta is there as well. And they're all going up trying to save the Justice League. And what you find is that Batman and Catwoman somehow escaped from the battle of the Trinity War, where the rest of the Justice League died. And you find out that what happened to the rest of the Justice League is they all got absorbed into Firestorm's body. Which Firestorm, if you guys don't know, is a character that is two people living in one body with the power to turn into, this... It's essentially Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four, but a little more science-y.
Yeah, and cooler.
Yeah, much cooler. So they're all trapped in there, and they're all trying to go rescue him, and yeah, I mean that's essentially it. Batman has to team up with Lex Luthor, which of course, Batman, not a big fan of Lex Luthor.
Or teams.
And they, or teams, Batman team of one. And they go save the rest of the Justice League. And that's essentially the story. You have a bunch of villains going to save the Justice League. So, I don't know about you, Amanda. I thoroughly enjoyed this story just for the fact that I got to see a lot of Lex Luthor and what makes... And Lex Luthor's thought processes. Like, the entire beginning scene where Lex Luthor is on the airplane, or the helicopter, with the owner of that one family business that he's trying to acquire. His thought process through all of that is just what... he is a ruthless man, and he will stop at nothing to get exactly what he wants. So it was very interesting watching him progress from that ruthless man to someone with some semblance of feelings. And you even learn more about his sister in this. And I think just getting more of that Lex Luthor background was incredibly entertaining for me. What do you think, Amanda? What was your overall thought of the book?
So, as a whole, I mean, there are DC characters that I love. Obviously, I love Batgirl. I love
Mhm.
the Flash. I love Batman. But as I guess, like, as a whole, I know less about DC than I do Marvel, I think. So
Oh,
it was
we are going to
very.
be a great group then,
We
because I know
are.
more about DC than I know about Marvel.
Um, and just because like I've followed more story arcs for Marvel than I have DC, so it and but I really know even less about the villains, and aside from obviously your popular ones. So I guess it
Mm.
was a where was I going with this? It was really enjoyable for me because I got to see basically like different perspectives and to see all these villains that I knew of but wasn't necessarily really like in touch with. Like I know absolutely nothing of um and I'm
Uh,
drawing Sinestro. And
Sinestro?
yeah,
Okay.
because I've
I
never
forgot about him, yeah.
yeah, I've never been like a huge Green Lantern fan. And he had like a
Don't
fairly
tell Kenny that,
oh, sorry.
because Green Lantern is his all-time favorite.
Is his favorite. um so it was awesome for me to be able to kind of learn about like the yellow ring and a little bit about that particular power. Obviously I know what it does, but just a little bit more in depth. And it was nice
So
to
then,
see like
how did you like, um, you know, Yellow Power Ring Batman
that was so
for
silly.
the
The
little
two
bit of time
seconds
that
that it was there.
he had it?
Yeah, and if I
What?
was watching a movie, I would have been like, "Oh, that's cool. He picked up something and it's gone." I don't know what just happened,
And it's gone.
and
Like
it's gone.
one frame to the next. You see one frame, Batman with Yellow Power Ring on, like really looking like he's about to kick some major ass, and then all of a sudden it says power level depleted, and he
Gone.
just falls down. And Sinestro comes out and is like, "You fool."
You're stupid. Um,
Yeah.
and then just like I really like Captain Cold, so it was nice to see like the rogues and stuff in there. And I know
There were a
nothing.
lot of rogues
Yeah,
on the
there was.
Injustice League, because Mirror Master was there,
Hmm.
and Captain Cold, and I mean the entire rogues gallery was together at the very beginning. They kind of split off, but I was surprised to see so many Flash villains and not more like Superman, Batman villains.
Right. It was really it. They really took. I feel like they took like the not necessarily like the worst, but like the bottom of the barrel villains. Like they just were like, yeah, we're gonna bring out the rogues and what Black Manta and just
Hmm.
just villains that no one is really. I guess unless you're really following that, but not villains that anyone would really think would like
They're
rise
not
up.
the super mainstream
Right.
villains.
Because, like, like Poison Ivy gets, like, a slight cameo, and, um, who else? There was somebody else.
I,
Like, they
I thought there
touched,
was, yeah.
they
Go
mentioned
ahead.
Joker, and, like,
Hmm.
so there's those mentions, but this was nice because it really brought out the different light for other villains.
Hmm. I really enjoyed seeing um, the way that they handled like Cyborg's counterpart. Instead of doing an actual counterpart, they had Grid, which is essentially all of Cyborg's robotic, the robotic part of Cyborg, essentially separated from the human part of Cyborg, and joined the crime syndicate.
Right.
So it was it was a huge battle rebuilding Victor Stone into Cyborg so that he could then re-assimilate Grid into himself, which I thought was really quite neat. Um, yeah, just in general, very very cool.
I have to say, too, I think probably my favorite part of the entire story was any of the correspondence between Lex Luthor and Bizarro.
Yeah.
as he
That was
further developed, because it kind of put, you're reading a superhero story arc. So people are like, yeah, there's going to be action and fighting and all this stuff, but a lot of times I feel the superheroes or supervillains in this case kind of overshadow,
they're just evil.
I guess,
Yeah.
all of the
Hmm.
emotional parts in this that can really come out. And I feel like even though like the beginning of the conversations with the creature, as they were calling him, were just him going um
Yeah.
it was nice to see like that development, and then eventually the attachment. I have to say that probably one of my favorite, pages and panels in the book is like the third, like the second to last page, where Lex Luthor is discussing, the story that he told Bizarro in the middle of the graphic novel, and how
About
it's,
his.
yeah, how like sad it is.
Yeah. No, I mean that's what I'm talking about. It turned these incredibly two-dimensional characters that are just villains. They're just out there to be assholes to Superman, to whoever. And they really came back and um, and really showed a different side that made them human. Um, just like you said, showing there were multiple characters that Lex Luthor interacted with that really showed uh, his development from evil asshole to okay, he might actually be kind of good.
Right.
I mean, there was the guy at the beginning that he was trying to acquire the business of.
Mr. I
There,
just looked it up. Cord. Mr. Cord.
Cord, Thomas Cord, yeah,
Yep.
um, and Bizarro and Batman, all three, very different kinds of character interactions, but all three of them really show growth with with Lex, and I think that's awesome. I thought a really great part in the book also was when they're saving Nightwing, and
Yes.
he's attached to that bomb, essentially, and the only way to defuse the bomb is to stop Dick Grayson's heart.
Which, by the way, if anyone who listens to Lipstick Nerds or follows me on Twitter knows, I love, I love Dick Grayson. He is like him and Oliver Queen is just like Amanda's heartthrob. So just don't mind. So
You and
I
my
was a little
sister would get
teary.
along very well, Amanda. Um, but it's like Lex Luthor. He seemed to really know what he was doing. Oh, thanks, Shiny. By the way, I'm glad that you are enjoying the show. Um, when Lex Luthor essentially kills Nightwing and then removes him from the bomb and resuscitates him, I thought that was all really great. What I don't find great about that is that whole exchange right there. Because I didn't read Forever Evil, and I was just reading the like Nightwing comics. All of a sudden, I was reading the last Nightwing comic, and it was like Nightwing's dead. I'm like, what?
What?
What did I miss? And then they went from that into the Dick Grayson comics, which I am not enjoying as much as I enjoy the Nightwing comics.
I cite
Just to,
slight segue. I think I read the first two issues of Grayson and was just like, I'm not really impressed with any of this, so I stopped reading it. I heard it gets
I'll
better,
be
but
I've heard that too. It's just maybe we'll have to add that to one of our like a story
our
arc from
list.
that. Yeah.
um,
Um,
and I think another thing, like along the lines of emotional, even it not like yes, Lex has those. Lex is more of like the main character.
oh, you're. I lost you for a second, Amanda. Hold on one second. Okay.
Did you lose
And
my
we're
face
back.
or did you lose my audio?
I lost your audio.
Oh no. Okay, so what I was saying was, with Lex Luthor being the main character, you see him I guess, mature in a way,
Mm.
like emotionally, and show his more human side. But there's some moments too between the other villains where you realize, like, yeah, they're still human, and I liked that fact because it was smaller characters. Like, yes, you saw Lex Luthor doing all this, but like the rogues refused to flatten their own city and like kill civilians from their old city, even though they were being told to do that. And because they didn't do that, what the what was
Crime
that guy?
Syndicate.
Yeah, the crime
Oh,
syndicate. Like they sent what was that guy's name?
Power Ring
Power Ring.
and
Yeah, whatever the
uh,
alternative. I don't know
the alternative Firestorm guy was.
yeah.
That would be Deathstorm.
Yes, but because they're like, why have you failed to complete this simple task? And the rogues are like, because there's hospitals and schools, and the city hasn't been evacuated yet. And they're just pretty much like, well, we don't care, and
Yeah.
they're just like refusing to do it, even though they're villains, and you wouldn't expect that from a villain. You'd just assume that they're like, well, whatever, let's destroy the whole city since now we have this power to do that. So, but there was another villain too that did that as well, that fought back. So, I don't know. I just liked the fact that, yes, you saw like the main characters develop emotionally, but you also could see the gentle, and I guess, and the human side of characters that were just almost like background characters.
Yeah. Which I think is great. It's, as soon as you start to add the humanity to villains, it kind of makes the villains that much more interesting to read, because now you're going to be reading the next time Flash, is trying to beat the shit out of Captain Cold, and you'll be thinking,
You'll feel
oh,
bad.
but he's not that bad. Be nice, Flash. um, I thought the whole thing was very interesting. I thought the only thing that seemed incredibly just out of left field was that like weird character at the end, backwards Shazam, essentially, which is
Oh,
Lex Luthor
okay, yeah. So it was
in the
that.
alternate world.
I thought that I agree with you because I thought he was very strange. Like at first, I was like, okay, that's got to be the alternative Lex Luthor, and then he said, "Oh gosh, whatever Shazam is backwards."
Mazaz.
Mazah. And I was like, okay, so maybe it's and and then it was Lex Luthor again, and I'm like, okay, I don't. Okay, so he's picking up all these powers. He's like the rogue, I guess. So I'm just like, why is this? What I don't know. To me, I feel like he wasn't fully developed into anything, and
I
I didn't
think
really know where
honestly,
he was going.
the biggest thing with that character was the only thing that I can see, and this is kind of a long shot, is by Lex Luthor killing him, they're kind of showing that Lex Luthor is killing the evil inside him. You know what I'm getting? That might be a little too deep for a comic book. I don't know, but that is my immediate thought. I mean, it's the only reason I could think of them having that character there, because essentially, Alexander Luthor is able to get up. He murders all of the crime syndicate, essentially. And then Lex Luthor, kind of, because he is the same person, said Shazam backwards, turned off all of alternative Lex, his powers, and stabbed him in the chest.
Yeah, with a
So,
lightning rod.
yeah.
Stabbed in the chest with a lightning rod. And actually, I don't even know if Alexander Luthor even killed anyone. Did he? Because Power
Well,
Ring was
he
killed by Sinestro.
right, no. he absorbed Deathstorm.
Oh, you mean, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he did absorb.
And I feel like he got another one. I just can't remember which one.
Because in the end, Lex Luthor squished Atomica with his boot, and then in jail, or he imprisoned
Ultraman and Superwoman.
Yeah, Ultraman and Superwoman. And Owlman escaped, and somebody killed Alfred, which was why Owlman was heartbroken. It might have been,
but not the alternate universe Alfred, not Earth Zero's Alfred. And not a troller. He says, "Wow, awesome channel, awesome hair." I'm obviously assuming he's talking about me, so thank you.
Awesome hair.
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about the plot twist at the end? Lex Luthor sitting on the computer and pretty much saying Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Yeah.
It's pretty bold words. I mean, obviously it's true, but still,
it's true.
I guess.
I just like how I guess, again, the end, he says, in a life that seems defined by success, it's truly defined by failure. My failure left his sister invalid, but failure is what makes us stronger, and that's what made Ultraman and his syndicate, and that's what Ultraman and his syndicate could never see. We need to fail to succeed. And then he says that I've learned something in particular, and it's going to change everything. And at that point, guys, he is looking at a picture of Bruce Wayne and Batman on the computer.
Yep.
And that was me reading to you, just so you know.
There we go. Story time with Amanda.
I kind of wonder where they went with that, or where they were planning on going with that.
So what happens is Lex Luthor uses that knowledge to essentially gain entrance into the Justice League. He blackmails Batman into giving him entrance into the Justice League. Because that's what happens in the Justice League after that. But I haven't been reading Justice League since, so all I know is that Lex Luthor is in the Justice League, and even Superman agreed to have Lex Luthor in the Justice League, and Batman is the only one that's like, no, I don't like this guy. He's not in the Justice League.
Which is just ridiculous, because, I mean, he saved Grayson. He saved Superman. Like, let the man be in Justice League, for crying out loud. He's already saved the world once.
Let's be honest, though, it's Batman.
Yeah.
He would have no new members join.
He doesn't
if he had his way. Yeah.
It's my Justice League. All mine.
Was there anything else you can think of that you didn't really enjoy about the book, Amanda?
Do we ever know what happened? Like, the only thing that I thought was kind of stupid was, what the hell is going on with Superwoman's baby?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do we ever know?
I'm sure that comes out in other, or that will probably become a thing in a later Justice League arc.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to, right? I can't imagine that that's going to be the end of that. But I mean, they're comic books. That seems to be a pretty common thing where they'll introduce some kind of plot element, like Superwoman having Alexander Luthor's baby and saving it for something later.
She also looks like clinically insane at the last panel that she's in. It's terrifying.
She's insane. A crazy ass Wonder Woman. It's not cool. Not cool at all.
But realistically, like, aside from Alexander and not really seeing, like, the point of him.
To the
I can't think of anything that I absolutely hated.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was a very fun read. I read it on the airplane when I was going on vacation, so it was fun. Um, and yeah. Um, do you want to give it an overall rating? Do you want to do like out of 10, out of 5, out of 100, out of 8 million,
Out of 8
6,000?
million.
Let's do it out of 8 million. Uh,
Number. Let's see. Let's do it out of 10, maybe.
Out of 10? Okay.
Yeah. Are we doing? Or unless we're doing point 5 or something like that. I guess we could do
No,
it out of
let's
5.
let's just do whole numbers.
Whole numbers will be safe. Um,
Yeah.
and then I guess like why we would rate it that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. I'll go first. However, I just opened up to the robot chicken cover, so now it just went down in my book. Just so everyone knows, I will show them this cover. This is just absurd. This is absurd. I think
Do.
I'm gonna go with 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Um, Pros being the maturity and the development of characters
Hmm.
and like the emotional connection that I can make with characters that I haven't really made before. And also the appearances of and use of villains that aren't necessarily like the popular villains. Also, Deathstroke. He's gonna boost that up a little bit. Um, and cons for me being, I didn't really necessarily care for the crime syndicate as a whole. They weren't. Honestly, I thought they were
fleshed
kind of,
out that well.
yeah, they weren't very fleshed, and they were kind of, in a way, kind of boring to me, I guess. And Alexander Luther, just meh,
Yeah.
meh.
Yeah.
Like his point to me was really, I guess he was only there to just say that, the villains could be defeated. The villains of the villains could be defeated. That's really why he was only there, I thought.
Essentially.
So
And
7.
to have a baby with Superwoman.
But was it? Yeah. That was, a secret baby. Secret baby.
Secret baby with Wonder Woman. Or Superwoman, sorry, not Wonder Woman.
Let's not impregnate Wonder Woman.
No, please don't do that.
What's
I have to agree. I give it a 7 out of 10. A lot of the same pros. I loved getting that sense of Lex Luthor and seeing his character fleshed out a little more, because you definitely think of history as really written by the victors. So when you read a comic book that's Superman defeating Lex Luthor, you got to kind of look at it as that way. You're seeing Superman beat Lex Luthor, and you're seeing it through Superman's eyes, kind of. So it's kind of nice seeing the world through Lex Luthor's eyes for a while, which I thought was great. My negatives are definitely the crime syndicate. I feel like that wasn't fleshed out enough, especially Power Ring. Like, just the whole thing going on with Power Ring was very weird.
For not knowing any, like I said, I'm not a huge Green Lantern fan, so I really don't care per se. But like not knowing anything really about the rings and the concepts.
Especially
I know what the rings
alternate
are.
universe rings.
Yeah. So I didn't understand, like, why is he, like, fighting with himself, and why is his arm, like, zombie-fied? I mean, I guess I didn't really have to, because he was kind of a little pansy anyway, but...
Well, and I mean, the Power Ring in the next story arc of the Justice League, is Power Ring. Because that Power Ring left his finger and went to search for someone else on Earth.
Right.
And the next story arc of Justice League is the Ring finding someone. So you get kind of a better sense of it there, but it would have been nice to see where Earth 3's Hal Jordan came from. You know? So that was kind of disappointing. And I think it was completely unnecessary to have Batman put on that yellow ring, the yellow power ring.
Yeah.
But I did love the nod to Tower of Babel in the Batcave, where he's opening up all the suitcases of how to defeat the Justice League. So I thought that was cool. I like Catwoman in this as well. I thought she was a cool character. But overall, I would say a 7. Not the best comic I've ever read, but
definitely not the worst.
There as a good one. Yeah, absolutely. Should we pick out next week's comic, Amanda?
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of Catwoman, why don't we do the little unboxing first?
Oh yeah, you had an unboxing.
Yeah, and then we'll pick out next week's comic and then close it, I guess.
Here, let me switch
to big mode.
Switch to big Amanda mode. All right. So, again, a little bit about me for you guys who don't know. I am a co-host on Lipstick Nerds, which is a podcast that was started by a couple of my lady friends and myself. Actually, like a little while after we met in San Francisco. And every Wednesday, I post about what I've picked up for the week, and I usually post pictures of my statues because I have an obsession with statues. Well, I know today's... Because statues are freaking cool.
Yeah, they are. Like, that's just my collector's item. So, I know today's Thursday, but I couldn't afford it until today, so I picked up a DC Catwoman bust that came out on Wednesday. And I ordered it, and it's awesome, and I'm super excited. So we're going to open it for the first time, for me anyway. My coworker decided that he was going to open it because he wanted to see what it looked like, which is super nice of him because, you know, it's mine and I paid for it. But whatever, that's okay. I love him anyway. He's a cool person. So it's really cool. It's a DC, I'm trying really hard here, DC Catwoman bust. Oh, that's better. It is one of... I can let you know.
Oh, it's numbered?
Yes, I can let you know when I'm in.
That just makes it even cooler.
Yeah, what number it is. They do a lot of busts. I actually got my roommate the Batman one for Christmas.
Oh, they have a Nightwing bust?
Yes.
That would be something that Anna, I think, would really like. Check that out. That's pretty sweet.
And then there's Deadshot up there as well, which for all of you Suicide Squad fans, he's wearing the helmet. But
or all of you the Will Smith fans.
Yeah,
you know.
That too. So we're going to open this bad boy up. So it is a numbered. All of their statues are numbered. I actually really wanted the Deathstroke one when it came out, but I didn't get it, which kind of sucks. Because I wasn't sure how big of a bust fan I would be. I'm trying to do this on camera, but I'm also trying not to drop it. And horrible noises.
Don't you just love the sound of styrofoam coming through your ears like that?
Yeah, so close to the microphone. I'm sure you all appreciate that. Alrighty. So this is actually what?
I don't know. I don't see it the way you see it.
Yeah, I was going to get you a measurement, but I can't find one, so. Sorry, guys. Sort of opening off camera. Trying not to knock things over. I did not leave myself enough room on this desk. Okay, so.
For those of you wondering, it's about 6 1/4 inches tall.
Perfect, yes. So it's actually really nice. Now, I'm not a huge bust fan. Let me see if I can. So, again, I wasn't sure. I saw the Deathstroke one, and I really wanted that one, but I didn't get it. So she's wearing her gorgeous leather attire, and she's got her whip,
As Catwoman usually does.
Yep, as Catwoman does. And the goggles are actually around her neck, too, which is kind of cool, instead of just being up here on top of her head. I can't really see her face because my light sucks and it's, like, right in the way. Maybe that helped a little. Not really. Let me try something else.
I'm looking at a picture of it online, though, so that I can actually see a little better. Wait. Is this something that's not supposed to come out until September 25th?
Ooh.
Did I...
Is it really?
That's what I'm seeing on Amazon. Maybe it just hasn't released on Amazon.
Oh, Amazon.
Yet.
Amazon, just so everyone knows, Amazon releases stuff a lot. Not a lot sooner. Amazon.
Oh, I'm also looking at the wrong Catwoman bust.
Behind most other companies, just so you know. Like, if you ever order something and you're like, but this is not out until blah 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 on Amazon, usually it's because they get it after everybody else does. So this is actually number 647 of 20.
Oh, that's my favorite number.
Of 2,500. So it's got the little number on the bottom, and it's pretty solid for a bust. It's actually pretty heavy, which is impressive. But cool. I'm actually really impressed with their facial features, because that was the one thing that kind of threw me off and made me a little worried. Painting's done nice. No weird.
That's good. It looks like the Jim Lee version of Catwoman.
I think it is. I think that's what it says on the box.
If it is, I am going to call myself awesome.
Yeah, it is. You're awesome. Just
yes.
By Jim Lee and sculpted by Joe Menna.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I.
So, less awesome. But I know who Jim Lee is.
So, I'm super excited. She's going to go next to my roommate's Batman bust because, it's the two of them.
Of course. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Maybe we'll try and do this on a regular basis if I'm not poor. That'd be great.
Yeah. I agree. That'd be pretty cool. All right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
For what issue 2 of Knightly Novels is going to be.
Drum roll.
So, just real quick, just to remind everyone what we do. This is Comic Book Club for the Nerdy Knights of the Round. Each week we are going to choose a new comic book for you to read with us. And the following week we will do a show like this on it. So we want as many people to participate as possible. So please read the book and then listen to the show. Our next issue is going to be, I'm going to have Alexa help me out here. Alexa, choose a number between 2 and 70.
I forgot that your thing was named Alexa, and I was like, who the hell is Alexa?
18. 18 is our number this week. So, our next book is going to be X-Men: Days of Future Past.
All right.
That's gonna be a good one. I love that one. That's in my top 10 favorite comic books. So, yay.
Yay.
Right,
we can
Amanda?
Compare it to the movie.
We could compare it to the movie.
So
that should be a section of it.
Podcast talking about the movie.
Wait, real quick. Just did you like the movie or did you not like the movie? I think we talked about this. I don't think you liked the movie.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can talk about that next week. You want to close this out?
Show. All right. Yeah. So let's close this out. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's and our first episode of Knightly Novels.
First issue.
Issue, that's right. I threw an
episode on there.
You spell that, so it's okay. Whatever. Issue. We're an issue, not a... We're an issue, that's great.
We're an issue right now.
And remember, you can follow us on Twitter. You can find me at Wake Up Paramore, that's the @ sign. And WAKEUPPARAMOUR. And you can also find me as one of the co-hosts on our bi-weekly podcast called Lipstick Nerds. It's at Lipstick Nerds. A bunch of girls get together and we talk about nerdy stuff. And we've actually started bringing on more guys onto the show, so you could be on. But
I'm kind of disappointed, Amanda. I'm kind of disappointed.
So we had Brian on. He was our first guest. And then
Brian Albert?
Yes, Brian Albert.
Oh,
and
I love Brian Albert.
We were like, all right, we really don't need, like, Brian was kind of like, we need a filler, we need a guest. Brian's awesome, we'll bring Brian on. And we brought him on, and we're like, all right, we're not going to do a whole bunch of guys because that was going to be our thing. It was just going to be nerdy girls talking about stuff. So Brian comes on, and we made him wear. One of the rules is you have to wear lipstick when you're on the show. So, so we made him wear or lip balm. I think he wore colored chapstick, but whatever, it was close enough. And then we were like, all right, we're not really going to bring any other guys on. And then, Alex was. I don't know.
Alex 1Ill, otherwise known as the other Ben.
The other Ben? He's the other.
Yeah, he was on Nerdy Nights once, and we dubbed him the other Ben.
So we brought him on too, and now since we announced that he was on because we recorded yesterday, a bunch of people have been like, "Hey, I want to be on Lipstick Nerds," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we're gonna bring more guys on, which is awesome.
Right.
And Ben, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter. My handle is BRidiculous, BRIDDICKULOUS. You can also find me on my regular podcast, Nerdy Night Radio, and you can find all stuff Nerdy Night related, including this show, the Nerdy Night Show, everything, at nkrn.org,
yep.
Essentially. And everything that's archived is on our YouTube, which is youtube.com/ridiculousprod.
So make sure you like us, and as long as you actually like us, like us and check us out.
Like us.
Always like us. Doesn't matter if you like us or not. See us in the street. I hate that person. And I'm not gonna. I got nothing until next week.
Excelsior. Right? I mean, come on, that's what Stan Lee would say if he were here. He would say Excelsior, so I'm going to say Excelsior.
Right.
We should both end the show each week saying Excelsior.
Together, in unison?
Together. Let's try it. I'll count down when I have no fingers left on my hand.
Okay.
We'll say it. Ready?
Excelsior.
Close enough.
We'll work on it.
And then, of course, if you're listening to the iTunes version of the show, enjoy these blue